welcome back again to my channel. My name is Achibola. Today I'm going to be teaching you on how to sew these beautiful two-piece African inspired pajamas. Initially I needed a sleepwear, but I ended up adding this to my closet because it was just too beautiful to be used for sleeping. So if this is what you would like to learn, kindly stick by. Do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Bye. So we're going to be starting with the trouser of this two-piece, and I have laid my pattern on it. If you've not watched the pattern making of this, kindly go back to the part one and watch. So I've cut out my pattern out for the trouser. I just want to put an inseam pocket, and I measured from the top 8 inches, and I'm just drawing out a pattern in the shape of a capital letter, but with the bottom of the D curved inwards, as you can see there. And right now I'm going to use my scissors to cut out the pattern like this. And so guys, do not forget to slit it open to create our two pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out another piece of it to make it 4 pieces for our pockets. So right now for the trouser, I've already weaved every part of it because the fabric was fraying a lot. So I've weaved it, and I'm placing my pockets on the hip side for the front pattern of my trouser by 1 inch from the waistline. You come down by 1 inch and place down the pocket, and I'm going to sew on that side. So I'm going to do the same for my back pattern of my trouser. I'm going to put the remaining 2 pockets 1 inch from the waistline below, and I'm going to pin it on the hip line of the trouser this way. And I'll do that for the last pocket piece 1 inch below, and I'm going to pin it and stitch on those lines. So I just went ahead to stitch the pockets and also to top stitch them. And right now I'm placing both front pattern of the trouser together like this, and so I'll be sewing it along the crotch line using my same allowance. I'll be doing the same process for the back pattern of our trouser. I'll be placing it right side together like this, and I'll be sewing it with my same allowance along the crotch line like this. So for the hem of our trouser, we're going to be attaching our Ankara piece to it. And right now I have cut out a piece of fabric of 5 inches width, and the length will be the equal length of the hem of our trouser. So I'm going to go ahead to attach my cuffs to the hem of my trouser like this after I've already interfaced it with the lightest paper stay, because I just want it to have a little bit of structure. I'm going to pin it to the hem of the trouser like this for both the front and the back, and I'm going to sew along that hem with my sewing allowance of ½ inch. So after sewing, I'm just going to fold it like this. So I'm going to fold it this way, and I'm going to stitch below that stitch line, just tiny bit below to hide it at the front. So after sewing the cuffs to the hem of the trouser this way, I'm just going to lay my back pattern like this and place the front pattern right sides facing each other, and I'm going to pin it together like this equally at the inseam, making sure that it is aligning and that the crotch area of both trousers are aligned to each other this way. Then I'm going to go ahead to pin the other side of the pocket area as well, making sure they are both aligned. So after doing that, this is what I have. I'm going to take it to my machine to stitch all around from the waist to the pocket down to the hem, and also the inseam area of the trouser. And I've done that here, and I'm going to bring it inside out and give it a good press. So after ironing the trouser, I'll be using my tape measure to measure round the waist of the trouser plus ½ inch. Here I had 47 inches, so I added ½ inch, that's 47.5, which will be the length of the band of the trouser like this. And I'll be using the width of 2.5 inches or 5 inches like this. Then when you fold, you're going to have 2.5 inches. So after doing that, I'm going to open it up this way and fold it this way in order to stitch it at that end. But we're not going to be stitching it all through because we'll be adding in our rope at the waistline. So I'll be marking 1 inch upward, and from that 1 inch I'll be leaving ½ inch space to create a hole where the rope is going to be passed through, and I'll be stitching the rest. So this is what I'm talking about. You can see the hole created there at that joining, and at that same there, that joining, I'll be aligning it with the center front of our trouser at that seam, the crotch line seam there. Make sure it is aligned properly. Then I'll be pinning it all through using my pins all around the waistline like this. So after that is done, I'm going to be taking it to my machine to sew all round using my same allowance. So after that is done, I'm just going to measure my half waist measurement like this, and I'll be using that measurement to cut out my elastic plus ½ inch for stitching. And this is what I have. So guys, I use this method in enclosing my elastic to the waistband, but if you can't use this method, I'll just advise you to use the other method where you will just join your waistband to the waist, leaving a space where you can just pass your elastic through your waistband using the normal safety pins we use for clothing. But this is how I like to do mine. I find it easier. So just watch. I'm just going to fold it in this way, and gradually I will be pulling the elastic, not too much but gradually. And also make sure that you're arranging the waistband to be equal, not that you are pulling your waistband in excess. Just pull the elastic gradually. It's going to reach a limit where you will need to pull it carefully, easily. After enclosing my elastic into my waistband, I'm just going to put my safety pin into the rope I've already made of my waist circumference times 2 by ½ inch width, and I'm going to pass it through that hole until I come out from the other end of the hole. And guys, this is the end of the trouser. It's time for the shirt part. So for the sewing part of the shirt of this pajamas, I've already cut out my main fabric using the pattern drafted in the first video, and I'm going to place it on my Ankara fabric of at least 6 inches wide, and I'm pinning it this way. So I'm going to cut it out, trace out the lapel of the shirt, that is where the button is going to sit, and the collar area like this. I'm going to trace it out using my main fabric on the Ankara this way, and I'm going to interface the Ankara with a light paper stay. You can interface both sides depending on the kind of structure you want. And here I am, I've already interfaced. I'm just using my pattern to notch out where the buttons will be and where the lapel will be folded. And right now I just pinned the interface lapel on the right side of the front pattern, and I am going to put my back pattern of my shirt, connecting it at the shoulders, right side facing right side like this. Then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine to sew it along the shoulders using my sewing allowance, and I have placed my interfaced lapel on the original fabric this way, and I'm going to sew it towards the first notch, that is towards the first button placket line. Then I'm going to iron it out this way, as you can see me do here. And you can see the way it's folded already automatically, our lapel part. So I just discovered along the line that it was too long for me, so I just wanted to reduce it over there. I'm just going to curve out away and cut out some inches away from the edge there. So here is me just curving it out, and I've stitched along that curved line, the new one I just created, and I'm going to trim off the old one out. So right now I'm just measuring the for the collar. I'm going to fold the back neckline into two this way, and I'm going to notch it at the middle, and I'm going to notch it this way at the middle center, and I'm going to measure from that midpoint on a fold towards the shoulder seam area. So whatever I have, I'm going to be using it with the measurements we'll be getting for the front as well to create our collar. So after measuring the back neckline, I'm going to measure from that shoulder seam line area towards the first notch we created at the button placket area, which we didn't sew up to like this. I'm going to be measuring that, just one side of it. I'll be measuring it, and whatever I have for the front neckline, I'm going to also use it in creating our collar like this. So let's go ahead to draw out the collar pattern for our shirt. So I just took a random paper, and with my ruler and marker, I'm just drawing a straight line. This will serve as the base of our collar. So I'm just going to redraw the line this way so that it will be more visible. And I'm going to mark the total half measurement of our neckline there, and I'm going to look for that midpoint of it this way. So I'm not going to go upward by half inch like this from this end and connect it with the slightest curve ruler to the midpoint. This is our front part of the neckline, and I'll be going upward by 4 inches like this, including my sewing allowance. This will represent the collar width. You can do lower than that depending on the size of the color you want to create. Then I'm just going to add, this is not compulsory please, I'm just adding it because that part was not sufficient. So I'm going to be adding just a piece of paper by taping it there so that I can create the back side of our neckline. So this place guys is not, this method, I mean this thing I'm doing is not compulsory. I'm just doing because my paper was not sufficient. Now I'm be connecting it like this, and I'll just be going in by like quarter inch outward to make that place slanted, because this would allow your collar to rest comfortably on the back of your neck. And right now I'm just connecting it like this towards the front neckline, and the collar is almost done. So this is another optional thing to do. I'm just covering the edge that way because I do not want it to be edgy. You can leave it like that. And right now I'm cutting it out, the collar out like this. So that part where I added the paper to will be our center back for the collar. And guys, you'll be cutting this piece on a fold to create your full collar. So I have done that. I've cut two pieces, one for the main fabric and one for the interfacing, and I've interfaced the side that will be inward. So right now I'm just going to, as you can see, I've interfaced it, and I'm just going to sew it all round, but I'll be folding that edge first. I'll be folding it upward like this, and I'll be pinning it down, and I'll take it to my machine and sew from one end to the other end like this. So quickly I'm just going to trim out the excess lapel seam allowance at the lapel area like this, so that when I turn it inside out to the right side to iron, it's just going to lay nice and flat. And right now this is our collar already turned inside out with and ironed. So this is our back neckline, the right side facing me. I'm going to mark the center part, which I've already notched. And right now I'm going to place the collar, the side that is not folded in, guys. I'm going to lay it like this at the center, so the center of the collar would align with the center of our back neckline, and I'm going to pin it all through to the front of our shirt, the front neckline of our shirt, like this. So this is it already pinned. I'm just going to align it to the front of our neckline like this. You can see the part that is not folded, guys, the part of the collar that is not folded, that is what you're going to be aligning first to the neckline like this, towards the front area like so. And I'm going to pin it intact, and I'm going to sew it with my machine on that line all through to the front this way. So after sewing it, this is how it's going to look like. So I'm just going to fold over the collar like this. Now you are going to fold, you know, that folded parts we did when we were joining the collars together, the two-piece collar. So this is the need of it, so that it's going to cover neatly that same line. So I'm just going to pin it like this towards the front, folding it inside to hide everything um allowance. So that excess interfacing there, I'm going to be pulling that off later in the video. So this is how it looks like, and I'm going to run a stitch very tiny and close to the stitch there, so that it's not going to be showing at the back of our neckline. So I'm going to sew it down like this neatly. So the next thing I'm doing right now is to cut out the pockets for our shirt, and right now I'm going to be folding my fabric, some pieces of fabric like this, to create a square. So I'm just going to measure 4.5 by 4.5, but yeah, I was just eyeballing it initially, but to be on the safe side, just measure out 4.5 by 4.5 to create a square pattern this way. And this includes your sewing allowance. So I'm just going to take some pieces of my ankara here and cut out uh 1.5 inch on a fold like this, and I'm going to cut it out. You can see 1.5 inch, but do not mind me, I was just trying to maximize my fabric because it's not a new one, it's a scrap from my leftover fabrics for past projects. So I'm just going to fold in 1.5 inch this way, and I'm going to cut it out using my scissors. And right now I'm going to place it on the top of, remember it's a square, so all sides are equal. So I'm just going to use that part to measure out my 4.5 inches and to sew it there. I've gone ahead to sew my ankara to my pocket piece, and mind you, I interface the ankara, and what you see me do is that I'm just trying to eyeball the perfect place where the pockets would look good on the front part. And when I measured it, it was 8 inches for me, but yours can differ. But make sure that it is not below your armhole curve, because it's going to look funny. And right now I'm just pinning my pocket to my shirt this way, pinning it carefully so that when I'm about to sew, it's not going to move here and there. And I'm going to fold in the three sides of the pocket like this using my sewing allowance, and I'll bring it back to show you guys. So of all the things that could cause me wahala for this project, I discovered that it was this small pocket. I don't know what caused it. I loosed and restitched, but it kept on coming out this way. And I even ironed, but I will do that later. But you can keep in your comment section what if you've experienced such, and what was your solution, so I can know. Now after that is being stitched, the pocket, I went ahead to put in my seam allowance for the sleeves this way. I used 1.5 inch for my seam allowance, and right now I'm just going to cut it out like this, cutting it out on a fold, guys. So you're going to cut two pieces of this and I'm notching the center of the sleeve. So right now I'm just going to open it up to cut out the front part of the armhole. Remember, the front part of your armhole is different from that of your back. So I'm just placing both sleeves, right side facing themselves and wrong side facing me, and I'm going to place my pattern on it this way. So just watch what I'm going to do. I'm doing this because I want to cut out the front side of my armhole like this. So I have cut it out, and now we can sew our um, armhole together to the bodies. Now I just indicated where my front is going to be and where my back is going to be by marking the chalk on the side like this. You can see I have already gone ahead also to hem the bottom of the sleeve using my sewing allowance, and right now I'm just going to place my notch, the notch part of my sleeve, on the shoulder seam line of my shirt, making sure that the front side of my armhole is facing the front side of the armhole of the shirt. Then I'm going to pin it all through to the end and sew it. I'll do the same for the other parts of the armhole, and I have stitched my sleeves to the shirts. As you can see right now, it is time to join the bodies together to create our full shirt. So I'm just going to align the front with the back by flipping it over like this, so that I will be able to sew in the shirts together to create our full shirt. And I'll just be using 1.5 inch, but if you want yours to be shapy, just input your bust circumference measurement and your waist circumference measurement with your hips circumference measurement. Now I'm going to hem the bottom. After hemming the bottom, I'm going to sew in my sewing allowance to it. So this is the button I'll be using for it. It's called the snap button. If you want a separate tutorial on how to fix it using your snap button or plier kit, then comment in the section. Do not forget to like this video as well. I intentionally cut this part off because this video was getting too long, and if you want to see how I created it, please leave your comments below in the comment section. Let me know, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to like, so that when I post my next video, you'll be the first to know. Bye.